Yo, what's happening, my good people? In Quantum Merowitz, back at you for a quick video, okay? This won't be too long. I won't waste all of your beautiful day. This is a beautiful day out here in Charlotte. It's gorgeous, okay? 72 degrees, sun is out, the wind is kind of lightly brisky blowing and all of that good stuff. An amazing time to be alive, I must say. So what I want to cover today is I want to go over about how to properly vet business transactions, okay? This will be something that most of us can relate to. If you are in the business of entrepreneurship or in the vein of entrepreneurship, you do anything in secondary business, if you got a side hustle or whatever you want to call that, whatever you want to term it, this is the video that you need to listen to, okay? So as everyone knows, I've been in international structured finance and trade finance operations business for like 24 years. Been doing it for a long time. Do a lot of private, things in that matter for private individuals, helping them to structure and arrange their businesses, building wealth fortification modules for their enterprise, for their companies, for their assets, for protection, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all around the world. So I have a little bit of experience, just a little bit, as it pertains to how to deal with vetting transactions properly, because I've been involved in so many of them over the years. I've seen everything you could think of when it comes to a business transaction. So understanding how things happen is something that I have grown to become quite accustomed to, and I have a little bit of experience in that regard. So I won't steer you wrong. Your boy Quantum won't do that to you. Okay, so here's the thing. As people go about their daily lives, they want to ultimately get to the bag or get to the dollar, or however you want to say it, however you want to term it. Everyone has a specific phraseology for it, an etymology, or however you want to look at it. It's your prerogative. I'm just going to fill in the spaces. So roughly, when you engage someone, or if someone engages you in a business transaction, generally they are coming to you because they want to be part of your circle of influence to some degree. Whether or not that influence involves helping them to close a transaction, or to gain access to a transaction, or access to a resource, or access to funding, or access to assets, whatever the case may be, you will be approached by someone out there at some point in time if you are engaged in commerce to some degree. Whether or not you are an expert, whether or not you are a contributor, a facilitator, a middleman, whatever you want to call it, if you're being engaged with someone, or someone's engaging you, is because they believe you have inherent value to offer a transaction. That's number one. So understand the chessboard when you are doing what you're doing. There is a chessboard. Now, what piece that you play on that chessboard is ultimately up to you, okay? If you are a pawn, a rook, bishop, knight, king or queen, that's all going to come down to who you are in the deal and what you represent and who you represent, okay? If I were you, I would ultimately like moving towards being the king, or at least the knight. The knights have a lot of power. Good. The knights is where you want to be. Knights. Anyway, so as you are approached and propositioned by various people all over the place all the time for business deal, or they need you for this, they need your resources, they need your expertise, blah, 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 blah. It's all over the board. I've seen it all. You're going to get one of those types of requests one way or the other, right? Okay, so here it is. You have to understand the framework of the transaction that they're bringing to you, first of all, to see if it's a fit. See, the way you end up wasting a lot of time, because this happens a lot, it's happened to me in the past, okay? Not understanding my personnel, not understanding the opportunity, not understanding who's at play, what's at play, any of the common variables that you run across when you're looking to do business with someone for the first time or for the third time or whatever. You have to understand what's at play. State of play is what we like to call it, the state of play. what are the variables? What is the transaction about? See, first, you have to learn how to identify a transaction from top to bottom. So you can, number one, validate wherewithal. Okay, that's the first thing you got to do, because what's going to happen, a lot of the times you'll find that people will be so enamored with who you are or what you have access to or who you know, and they'll just jump right in, riding that wave in their mind, thinking, ooh, this is an opportunity to lay claim to all this guy's assistance or whatever he has to offer. Let me just throw my little stuff on the table. So if you do not understand the transaction in its inherent state from inception, you will be running on a hamster wheel with these people. So you have to pretty much understand the elements of the transaction first. Understand what it's all about. Understand what they're talking about and if it's a good fit for you. Okay. Once you identify if the transaction is a good fit for you, the next thing you need to do is vet the capability of that transaction from inside and out. So you have to know that. Now, once that's been accomplished, you have to understand, okay, who the players are. A lot of times people forget this element of information because they never pay attention to the people. See, understanding the transaction and if it's viable enough for you to engage in is one thing. Number two, understanding the players. Who's involved? Are they reputable? Do they have an experience level that you can contend with or you can hang your hat on? Have they been up and down the board? Do they have a history of closing? Do they have good resources and relationships? Is it a valid situation? Is it worth your time? Do you get on a conference call with these people to determine what they got going on? Have you vetted their deal or vetted their capabilities? There's a lot that goes into that, okay? Because what I'm teaching you today is how to shave down the wasted time and energy for bad deals, okay? I've seen too many bad deals and I hate them. I really do. Quantum can't stand bad deals. But I'm going to show you how to recompense that. So after you've validated the transaction, you validated the person, okay? Now you start asking for documentation. This is where it gets very, very interesting. Now, you'll notice when you get to number 3, validating documentation, if you start to notice that the entity that brought you the opportunity starts to balk, starts going, it starts making excuses about why they can't give you this, why they can't give you that, why do I got to provide you with this, why that? Okay, so that lets me know that you're not who you say you are in your transaction, and you're probably further removed from the end of it than closer to the front of it. You don't want to take that deal. Just say, hey man, thank you very much, or thank you, young lady, I'm out. No, thank you, I don't want that deal. Get out quick. Okay. Anytime the bare essentials are not met in a transaction, and that's 1, 2, and 3, understanding the deal, the transaction that is, understanding the person, and verifying. Trust, but verify. All documentation, okay? Never take anyone's word for it in business. You must validate everything, okay? From start to finish. You will lose thousands of dollars and thousands of hours of your time. Trust me when I tell you that. It's, for some reason, what you'll notice, some people are all hung up over the idea of being in a business venture, right? Most people have never been in a legitimate business venture, and the mere notion of there being potentially a way that you can not only make money, but a way that you can add something to your resume behind your name on your email at the end of your email chain that says, oh, I'm a PNP or whatever have you, MDM or whatever you want to put behind your name. Anytime you can add another abbreviation to the end of your name, you feel important. You feel like, oh, I've accomplished something. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you want people's support and adulation of who you are. Everyone wants to be liked and wants to be noted and all this good stuff. That's perfectly fine. It's what comes with the territory, okay? But it's got to be realistic, okay? That's the thing. Understanding the elements of all 1, 2, and 3 is your very first claim to fame to see exactly what you have in that person, what you have in that transaction, and what you have in the people who are submitted it more so than anything, okay? Those are requisites that you must be able to counteract. Okay, so we're not in the business of wasting time. We're not in the business of allowing anyone else to waste our time, okay? I'm going to show you how to get around that. So basically, here's what you do. Some people will get offended also when you start saying, hey, I need to validate or vet this deal. Some people get a little upset with you because they don't want to be challenged. They don't want to go through all of the rigmarole, handing you information. Well, guess what? If you are a VIP person and you have resources, relationships, contacts, access to wealth, access to investment capital, any of this stuff, you're going to need to protect all of that. And that means you have to do all of your validation and vetting everything. Okay. You need to understand the person you're dealing with. I would say join arms, lock arms with all those people who are in the circle of influence that have actually completed some things. I mean, from start to finish. Like, it's nothing for you to have a meeting with someone and sit down and just hammer them with questions and take some notes. You ask them, how long have you been in this business? How long have you been knowing the people you're dealing with? What's your past successes? What's your challenges? How many successful situations have you completed? How long have you been traveling around and knocked this out? Have you been to see these entities in person? Do you do your business in person, tabletop? Do you do it via whatever have you, via the moon? It doesn't matter. How do you accomplish the opportunities that are before you when you're doing your business? Like, how do you accomplish them? Are you sitting in front of these people, or are you actually doing it via video conference? And that's fine if you do it via video conference sometimes, but I like to do that. It's like a closing via video conference after you already met the person and you sat down and went through it. And then you can come later on and have a video conference from time to time with that person. That's fine. The initial video conference, if you have an initial video conference, needs to be a meet and greet. That's it. You can talk about the elements of the deal, but all of the internal aspects of the transaction, which makes it successful, should only be accounted for in person. Okay, so that's another thing. So understanding how to account for your transactions in person, rather not relying upon them via teleconference or video conference, is another whole aspect of that's another module of information. I've dropped videos on that too. Don't get me wrong. I'll hook you up. Okay, so basically those three elements are the first things to understanding what you have. And it's always about what you have in this business or in business. If you don't know what you have, you don't know who you have, you don't know the elements of what the situation is in reality, you don't have anything, okay? This is how you avoid wasting so many weeks and months on a transaction. I've had people come to me, bring me situations, a person that I'm supposed to know I've known for a year or 2 or 4 months or 8 months or however long it is. And everyone comes to me with a transaction because they know, okay, this guy knows how to get stuff done. He knows he's got good resources, a huge Rolodex of competent individuals, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things you'll notice is they're not really ready to complete a transaction. They think they are, but they're not. They will get on a call with you or present something to you, have a meeting with you, and what they're doing is fact finding for people who have all the elements of what they need to potentially get their deal done. A lot of these people don't have the relationships and the resources to knock out a deal. They don't have it. They think they do, but the moment you try it, they fail every time. So what'll happen is, I don't know what this is, but when people really believe that you have way more to offer a situation than that they have to contribute to it, they instantly latch on to you, right? They clamp on to you, and they want to be associated with you in your business or your accolades or your resources. Be very careful of that, okay? Unfortunately, that is a serious thing. Most people are clamoring to get into business. Not many people are actually in their business. They're trying to be in their business, but they're not quite in it yet. They're looking for an opportunity to strengthen what they have going on and be a part of something. So they need people with real resources and capability to take them over the hump. They really don't have it, okay? I've seen that way too many times. They'll say, yeah, we're ready to do this and that. And the moment you bring your resources to the table and they can't perform because some crazy situation happens and they don't have together what they're supposed to have together, guess what that looks bad on? You with your established relationships, because a lot of these people are trying. Another way that you know this, that they're trying, is because generally when people come to you with a completed situation, generally on their side, on the face of what they're doing, they're supposed to have already covered their bases. It's like business is like playing chess. It's like having your pieces prearranged on the board in different spots. If you're coming into a business transaction and you're trying to play it like checkers, you've already lost. Business transactions cannot be played like checkers because it's not instant attack, it's strategy. Everything has to be strategic when you're doing a business transaction, okay? That means everything in front of you needs to be elaborately laid out on a chessboard, in a continuum, with everyone having roles, resources, and everything to contribute to the transaction being finalized. What you'll see is sometimes people will come in and they'll say, oh, I have this, or I got that, I'm gonna do this deal. And then they make you believe that they have accomplished something on their side noteworthy to commandeer your time. Unfortunately, for everybody in the business community, that's generally going to be bullcrap. I'm going to say about 98% of people a lot of times have not really amassed what they think they have on the other side. So you have to treat your time and resources and relationships as if you have struck gold or struck oil or something of value to where you can't just hand it out for nothing. Okay, now there are some little tricks and tips you can do to ensure that people won't waste your time. You can start charging fees and things like that, like resource fees. You can start charging consultations just so your time isn't wasted. Because a lot of people are basically fact finding, and they're going to use your information to go and sell to whoever they're talking about dealing with to get them to start putting whatever in your hands or whatever in your pockets. They're going to go and try to find someone else to do that situation with. And more often than not, they have not even accomplished anything. They're just fact finding. But they need to get as many solid resources on their side before they can even engage what they're supposed to engage. Sometimes just so happens they land in your lap haphazardly. You know, you can be doing something and boom, they'll run across your information on a post or something and reach out to you for a business deal. And they're hoping you have the access to what they've read about or they've heard you say, so that they can now start piecing together on their side how to string together their deal. But a lot of the times, these people don't have what they're supposed to have. You got to be very careful of that. Okay, so understanding who they are. You already understand now, understanding the deal. You validate your transactions. Go back to number one. You validate your transactions by unpeeling it, getting all of the background on the transaction that they're presenting. Depends on the situation. There's so many types of transactions out there. We can talk about a lot of them. Obviously, that would be more of a consultation because I can show you. But for the framework of what we're discussing, okay, understand that most transactions are going to basically come down to the same parameters. All transactions do, okay? Some way or another, all transactions are going to come down to pretty much the same area and sphere of influence of circumstance, right? It's going to come down to people having ability, the transaction itself having wherewithal to actually close, fact finding on that information, get all the documentation surrounding that opportunity, getting all of the corporate information together, the managers of the entity, any filings on that transaction, anything regarding financials around that transaction, POF, proof of funds, any types of corporate filings or whatever have you, profit and loss statements, EBITDA statements, all of these things you need to understand about that transaction and what's around it. Risk factors. Who stands to risk the most, okay, in a transaction? See, it could be you. You have to understand all the inherent risks about a deal, meaning who's taking the brunt of the risk. Because I can guarantee you, if you've been in business a lot longer than the person you're talking to, and you have substantially more to lose in terms of resources and relationships, more than likely it's going to be you that stand to lose the most. So you need to ensure that that entity will come to the table and amass all of the necessary documentation that you need to substantiate your position. Otherwise, if it fails, you look like a fool, you lose a resource in the relationship. Just that simple, okay? So understanding everything about the transaction and who is set to lose the most in the deal. Like, is it you? Who's risking the most? And the person who risks the most has the most leverage, okay? Don't let these people try to sell you on some sham that another entity has more leverage than you because, oh, we have this, we have that, but they haven't shown it. Who stands to lose the most? It's probably you. Every time they come to you, you're probably going to have to lose the most, and you're going to be the A side or the A card or the, what you want to call that, maybe the rook or the bishop or the knight. That may be you, okay? Understand that anytime a transaction falls in your lap, if someone comes to you, you're going to have the leverage, okay? More often than not, if a transaction drops in your lap, you will have the leverage over that transaction. Do not let anyone fool you into thinking, oh, well, you came to me. No. You came to me for the deal. So therefore, I hold the cards, I hold the leverage. My people hold the leverage. Okay, what we say go. All right, we're the A side. Never let anyone flip you to the B side, especially if they need you and your resources and all the stuff that you can bring to help their deal get done. Remember that they don't hold the keys, you do. All right. Lastly, I just want to cover the last three. Understanding the possibility and potential for it to actually close. The deal itself, if it's sitting on the merits of something solid, if the people are solid and you've verified all of the documentation surrounding the transaction, then you might have something. But I assure you, please trust me on this, don't go signing off on NDAs and NCNDAs, all that. That's stuff that brokers use to basically put a wall between you and the check writer, okay, or the person that makes the decision, or the principal. Never let them slap that stupid NDA in your face, because a lot of guys, I need you to sign an NDA. Well, wait a minute. What am I non-disclosing? And if I'm the person providing you something, why am I signing a non-disclosure? Well, generally, they're going to want you to sign a non-disclosure because the person who is coming to you, they have not really solidified their relationship with the person who they're doing business with. That's going to be one of the biggest things for you to understand. If they have not solidified their relationship with who they're doing business with, they're going to be afraid to do it on that side. Then they're going to come to you and ask you to sign an NDA so that you don't disclose or basically circumvent them. NCNDA, non-circumvention, non-disclosure agreement. They're going to say, sign this, because they don't want you to go around them to get to their person. Again, that's that gate guarding stuff. Avoid people like that. Here's how it's supposed to go. If a person has a relationship with someone they're bringing to you for a deal, they're supposed to already have that relationship down. They're supposed to already have that relationship locked up. They're supposed to already have a contract with that person. They're supposed to already have these things in play, right? If they don't have these things in play when they come to you, that means they're leaning on your expertise and your relationships in order to have a solidified deal. And that wasn't how the deal got to you in the first place. It's more so going to be you're bringing way more weight to the transaction than they are. And nevertheless, they're going to end up being some type of broker or referral party. So you have to understand who's at play and who's who. Separate these entities, get them in their proper personas, get them in the right categories so that you can have a successful closing if there is to be a successful closing, and then you can take the deal over and do it yourself. Okay, so never let anyone lock you into these dumb NCNDAs. Avoid those things, specifically if you are an A-side provider of whatever you're doing or whatever. You're the service provider, you're the asset provider, you're the capital provider. You're not trying to circumvent or disclose anything because you're the person providing the value. Okay, the value doesn't come with the other person. They're asking you to bring your value. So you need to sign your disclosures with the person who is needing my service, not with me. Remember that. So that's a tip. Okay. So I'm not going to make this video much longer than that. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on about business deals. This is just some small little tidbits that In Quantum has been, into in the past. I'm going to be sprinkling a lot of this information out there for you all to gravitate around, put your hands on, usurp this information, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? Absorb it and deploy it within your own business strategy. Okay. This is how you become a much better business person, is understanding those three key elements of a transaction. Otherwise, you will be out here circling the globe for years looking for some type of compliance, some type of this, some type of that, some type of interaction that's more than likely never going to happen. Okay. And you'll wake up one day and 6 months later, you haven't closed any deals. Okay. So I'm showing you how to get your deals closed. But first, you have to know all the elements about the deal and the people who are involved, or else don't even take it on. Trust me when I tell you that. You don't waste an ounce of your time, an ounce of your life chasing BS. Okay. So with that being said, everybody, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe to the video. Leave me a comment down below. Okay. Give me a very in-depth comment. Give me a 5-star review. Your boy in Quantum loves it to death, y'all. So hopefully this was educational for you all. Stand by for more videos to come on this very series of topics. We're gonna do a whole business series, okay? In Quantum Merit Finance, okay, and business. We're gonna be dropping videos on this stuff too. We have all types of videos, but this is gonna be one that we really, really wanna hit. Lots of people trying to get into business, and this is gonna be a rude awakening for some and a chariot for others. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.